Hello, welcome to the Entrepreneurs Network. I'm Rick Anthony, entrepreneur, angel investor, consultant, author, and teacher. 16 years ago, I started a venue called the Entrepreneurs Network. It was intended then, as it is today, to be an opportunity for aspiring and serial entrepreneurs, prospective investors, and helpful service providers to come together 5 times a year to be of help to one another. It was the genesis of, or rather that was the genesis of this program that we've been doing now for almost 6 years called the Entrepreneurs Network. Every opportunity we have, we try to bring you people who are engaged in entrepreneurship at the national, regional, and local level. My guest today is Wayne Kimmel, entrepreneur, venture capitalist, philanthropist, perpetual networker, and author of 6 Degrees of Wayne Kimmel. Wayne is managing partner of 76 Capital, a venture capital firm he founded in 1999. His firm has invested in 40 startup, technology, and healthcare companies. Welcome, Wayne.
Hey, Rick. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, well, I'm delighted to finally catch up with you. You've got a tough schedule with the book, I'm sure, has contributed to this back and forth, coast to coast, and everywhere in between. How's it going with the book?
You know, it's been great. Again, thank you for having me, and it's really been great to do this. I've had such an amazing experience going around the country, meeting entrepreneurs, meeting students, meeting professionals, and having an opportunity to just talk to people about entrepreneurship, networking, giving back, and just helping other people.
Yes.
It's been amazing.
It's so refreshing coming out of what is otherwise a pretty rough and tough venture capital world.
Well, you know, it's tough out there. It is
Yes,
absolutely
it is.
tough out there.
Brutal.
And if I just want to do anything I can to help others. And that's what I'm all about. That's why I wrote this book. That's why I do what I do. I feel very fortunate, very lucky to be in the venture capital business, to be able to invest in people, and I'll help them achieve their dreams. And that's what we get to do as investors, as helping them as much as possible. And that's what I talk about in my book.
A recurring theme in the book and in the presentations I've seen, copies of television, what am I thinking of? Television interviews you've given. A recurring theme is just what you said. You invest in smart, nice people who are focused on coming up with something that is really game-changing, will improve the world, the quality of life for somebody. That is so antithetical to the rough and tumble capital, venture capital world that I know anyway and have grown up in, and I'm sure you have as well. I'd like you to talk about that, particularly the emphasis on nice, because I think it was Leo DeRocha who famously, reportedly said, nice guys finish last. Obviously you don't believe in that.
No, I don't believe in that. And my partners and I at 76 Capital, and what I talk about in my book, it's all about investing in smart and nice entrepreneurs who want to do something that's completely game-changing, who want to change the world, who want to do something to truly impact the world, even more than create this amazing company, but also do something that helps people as well. And we want to do both, and that's what we're all about. And that's what's so important to me. And the thing is you mentioned the word nice, right? You talk about nice, and it's something that's really, it's the core of what we're all about. And of course, when you invest in entrepreneurs, you're going to find really smart people.
Yes.
But then the word nice is important because the thing is that when you work with an entrepreneur, especially the kind of companies we invest in startups. So it's very early on in the concept many times. And these companies, many of which are the next great companies that are going public, but the thing is many people call them overnight successes. Some of these overnight successes,
I know.
they're like 10-year overnight
right.
successes. So you have to work with these individuals for a long period of time. You have to take their phone calls, sometimes early in the morning, sometimes late at night, sometimes after long days when you're just getting home and you have an opportunity to spend some time with your spouse. Many times I go home and my children are asleep and I give them a kiss goodnight and they're already asleep. Then I walk into my bedroom and see my wife and I want to talk to her, and then my phone rings. And if my phone rings and it's an entrepreneur that's not nice, that's not the right kind of person I want to help, I'm not going to answer that call. But fortunately, my partners and I make sure we invest in the right kind of people so that we want to take that call and we want to help those people because sometimes that call, it's not even about business.
Yes.
Many times it could be a personal issue. It could be something with, can you help me with whatever?
Right.
And I want to be able to be there, and I want to be there for those kind of people.
You're a true mentor to these people. You're not just watching over your money. You're a true mentor to the ventures you invest in. I'm going to hit nice one more time.
Sure.
Because it's so hard to describe. Nice to me is different from what it means to you, I suspect, because we're looking through different filters. But this philosophy of being nice, of giving back, your philosophy of giving back, because it will come back, all of that, where did it come from? Are you emulating your father, your grandfather? Where did it come from?
Well, you hit it, Rick. I mean, I was very fortunate. I have amazing parents. I have an amazing wife. I have incredible in-laws, who, it's our value system. It's our family value system. It's what we're all about. It's that we are not only about ourselves, but we're about trying to help others and make this world a better place. We truly believe that it's all about trying to make this world a better place, because it's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to leave this world a better place than it was now for the next generation. And that's important. And that's what I care about. That's what I deeply, deeply care about, whether that's a new technology, whether that's helping someone who is having a really tough day,
Yes.
or whatever it is. And I always tell people, I tell my entrepreneurs, I tell people that I speak to about my book, or just again opportunities to speak with students. I say, you know what? No matter how bad your day is, no matter how terrible things are going on in your life, there's someone else out there that's having a worse day.
Yes.
And you can help them. And you can actually help them. And that's your responsibility to do that. And to me, that's what it's all about.
Is there some special way you and your partners vet prospective investors, entrepreneurs, individuals, to help you determine whether or not they meet the criteria that you've established, particularly for nice, easy to get along with, particularly when things are rough?
Yeah.
You're not screaming at one another?
No, absolutely.
Or you just trust your gut?
Well, you have to trust your gut, absolutely. But to be able to trust your gut, you have to spend time with people.
Right.
And you have to get to see them in different situations. So whether that's on their home turf, on your home turf, in another place, how they treat people in restaurants, how they treat the server, how there's ways for you to see how people are, and have all different types of conversations, ask people different kinds of questions, and see if it works. And here's the thing, as you said, my nice and your nice could be different.
Right.
It doesn't mean that the person's not a nice person if I don't invest in their company. It just means that I just don't think that I can help enough, and it's not right for me or for my partners.
Right.
So it's not like a cut and dry thing. It really is a gut thing. And that's why I tell people all the time, if I don't invest in their company, it doesn't mean that they don't have the greatest idea in the world.
Yeah.
It's just that I probably can't figure out how we can work together to help each other. And that's something that I stress every single time when I, unfortunately, sometimes say no to entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And we have to do that
I've been on the
sometimes.
receiving end of that. Not from you, but from others.
And it's hard to do. And it's
I'm
hard.
sure.
But it's something that we have to do. But we have to figure out a way to make sure that it's
Helpful.
helpful.
Yeah. Other than nice, smart, game-changing, what are some of the other criteria you and your partners look for in determining whether or not this is a winner or potential winner?
Well, one of the things that we really look at, and our thesis at 76 Capital, is all about this idea of the fact that the physical world and the digital world are converging today. And you have this amazing opportunity right now to invest in entrepreneurs that are focused on this convergence. We don't leave home without our cell phones. We don't leave home without our iPhones.
Yes.
So what should that experience be like? We don't just sit at home on our computers ordering all of our stuff on Amazon. We order a lot these days, and Amazon's doing an unbelievable amount of business, right? But at the same time, we don't do everything at home. We don't just do Skype calls. We're here in person together. We We don't just order all of our food online through one of my former portfolio companies, Seamless Web, which is now public as Grubhub. You know, we don't just order all our food through that. We order some of it through that. And so what will that be like in the future? What's the future really going to be like, where when we start to see how these worlds are coming together? What will it look like now? Amazon's coming right there right now. The new stores they're coming out with.
Yes.
The Amazon Go stores.
Right.
It's going to be fascinating to see what happens there.
It'd be fascinating to see if they're any more successful than the more traditional bricks and mortar retailers who are hurting so badly.
It's really going to be interesting.
It really is transformational.
Yeah, and fortunately, I have partners who really understand the physical side of the world, and in my experience is really from the digital side, and that's something that we're looking for, those entrepreneurs that are focused on.
I was awestruck by that chapter in your life when at age 29 you were able to raise $20 million for your first fund. That is incredible. One, how did you do it? And two, do you think it would be harder today to raise $20 million in this environment?
Well, raising capital and doing things as an entrepreneur, I think it's all about being fearless and going for it,
Yes.
and trying to, and just going to make it happen. And I think at 29, I didn't know any better. I was just, I was excited.
There is merit to that, yes.
And but I think that, as I talk about in my book, I was able to surround myself with mentors,
Yes.
and people that allowed me to sort of give me what I call as a halo effect. And I talk about this, and I talk about this with all my entrepreneurs, about having an unfair advantage, figuring out an unfair advantage, figuring out a strategic advantage to help you be successful. And fortunately, I was able to have some partners and mentors and other people who were able to work with me and help me be successful. But it all comes down to being that entrepreneur, going out there, knocking on doors,
Yes.
talking to people, and constantly trying and working hard, because it's just not easy. It's not easy to do any of this stuff.
Tell me about your right pocket, left pocket rule.
So every single morning when I get up, and after I get dressed,
Yeah.
I fill my right pocket with business cards, and my goal every day is to hand out these cards. Here you go, Rick. Here's one of my cards. And
Wait a minute. All right.
and to go out and get as many cards as I could and say,
Yeah.
thank you, Rick, thanks for your card. I look forward to seeing if we can help each other, and taking that card and filling up my left pocket. And that's what I try to do every single day, because my goal is to create the largest network that I can, so that I can help more people, whether that's my entrepreneurs or help people and help make this world a better place. Because you never know. We never know how we're going to be
No.
able to help each other in the future.
I agree with you.
And I really believe that you need to expand your network as large as possible, because you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I never in a million years would think at 46 years old that I'd be sitting here talking with you
Yes.
about entrepreneurship. A word that I didn't even know in college, a word that certainly I didn't even understand when I was in law school. And then when I got out of law school, I was going to practice law and go work with my dad, because that's what
That was expected.
that was expected.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting here, so you never know. You never know some of the people that I've gotten to meet, whether it's been on my book tour going around the country, whether it's entrepreneurs that I get to speak with, whether it's just people that I meet on a daily basis, or in some of my non-profit things that I like to go do.
Yeah.
You never know where people are going to be.
It must be very satisfying. It really must be. You've done a lot of interviews, as I said, coast to coast and everywhere in between. And I don't want this to be just another interview. So I'd like to just throw some words out to you, and maybe lift some things from your book. And in one or two sentences, just comment on your belief, your definition of some leadership, for example.
Well, for me, it's the most important thing. You need to be a leader. Especially as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You need to be able to lead your team. You need to be able to be the one that has the vision, that can see past all of the different bumps and rocks and things that are in the road, and you know where you're going to go. Because here's the thing: I say as an entrepreneur, people are going to call you crazy, and if they call you crazy, you're moving in the right direction.
Yes.
Because you see things that other people don't see. You see 5 years down the road, And you've just got to keep focused on where you're trying to go
Mm-hmm.
and just get yourself there.
But I don't want to go off on a tangent, but there is also something to be said for having the wisdom of knowing when to fold. We both know individuals who have put everything at risk, their lives, their families, and everything else, and regrettably they failed because they didn't know when to fold. So they could come back another time, another day.
Well, I think there's two F words that you just used. You used the fold and you used fail.
Fail, yeah.
We don't use the second F word in my family. That's the dirty word. That's the dirty word, because I don't believe anyone has ever failed until the end of their life. Okay, so you can always not succeed, and then you can come back and try to be successful
Yes.
again. So I think that you're constantly trying to succeed. And if you say, hey, I'm not going to do this anymore, that's okay. But that, to me, that's not a failure. You went, as
Okay,
long as you
fair
went
enough.
really hard and you tried your best.
And you learn from it.
And you learn from it.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's totally okay. And that's the game of entrepreneurship.
The importance of identifying future trends. You mentioned that
Yes.
as well. Do you consider yourself a futurist?
Well, I wouldn't consider myself personally a futurist. I would say, hopefully, I have an opportunity to invest in entrepreneurs who are futurists, who really do see the future. I try to help them. I try to add not only just capital, but I try to add relationships. I try to help them, guide them, and give them the confidence many times, the confidence to be successful. And that's what it's all about.
I'm reading now from the contents of your book. Every no is a not yet. Every no is a not yet. That's a categoric statement.
Yeah. As an entrepreneur, it's hard. People will tell you no. People will tell you, they will slam doors in your face.
Right.
They'll punch you in the face. They'll tell you to get out. Your parents, your mother, your brother, your sister, they'll tell you that this is a crazy, crazy idea. What I'm saying here in that chapter in my book is that you just have to be resilient. You have to keep moving forward. You can't allow people and their ideas and their thoughts just to solely shut you down. You have to keep moving forward, and you have to keep trying to make it happen.
In another chapter from your book, there's got to be a better way. I've heard some people say, to be successful as an entrepreneur, you can't just be better than the competition. You've got to be way out there, really different from, an innovator. You agree with that? Better isn't enough.
Better's not enough. You really do, and that's what I was talking about earlier, about this idea of as being an entrepreneur and thinking about the future and thinking about what's next. And so having opportunities to invest in entrepreneurs who have done things like putting in clinics inside of pharmacies where nurse practitioners can check you out inside of that inside of that pharmacy. Those ideas, those were crazy ideas. Those were things that, like, you would never walk into a pharmacy to get checked out. Well, now, you walk down the street, every CVS, Walgreens, etc.
Yes.
You can go in and get checked out by a nurse.
But do you also believe, Wayne, that every idea has its time? I was involved in a venture 15 years ago. We were, looking back on it, we burned through $6.3 million. It was painful. We were pioneers, we were innovators, but we were 5 years ahead of our time because boomers were not at that time and coming onto the internet, buying what they do today, and we couldn't convince them to buy from us, because of us, through us. We were 5 years ahead of the market. Do you believe that ideas have a certain time, a window of success or opportunity for success?
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
It truly is. And, there are times when, and certainly I've been an investor in opportunities where things didn't work out. That's what I'm a venture capitalist. Not everything works out. And, there are opportunities that we don't invest in that do work out. So we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not even close to being perfect. So the thing is that as an entrepreneur, if you give it your shot, you give it your all, and it doesn't work out, that's okay.
What about luck? Aren't some people just dumb luck? I mean, we both know people who are not particularly bright, but came up with an idea and it was just the right time. They rode a wave out of luck.
Well, I think luck
Is the intersection of, yes.
luck is that intersection.
Right.
Because here's the thing about luck, right? You will not, one of the things I talk about all the time is if you must get off the couch.
Yes.
The first thing that you must do as an entrepreneur is to get off the couch and go make it happen. You cannot just sit there. You will not get lucky. You will not even win the lottery if you're sitting on your couch and you don't buy the ticket.
Got to buy a ticket, right.
So you have to put yourself out there. And that's what I talk about in my book. And I talk about the being out there, being around people, developing relationships. That's where, because luck just doesn't find you. You have to be out there. It's constantly being out there. I talk about how, you know, many times you're just exhausted. You're not in the mood to go to that networking event. You're not in the mood to go to that conference. You're not in the mood to just leave your house. You're exhausted. You just want to sit home. But then you go.
Yeah.
And then you're there, and you're having a terrible time, and you're walking out the door, and then you bump into somebody.
You're absolutely
and it could
right.
change your life
You're
like that.
Absolutely right. It's happened so many times.
And is that luck?
You make your own luck there. Yeah. You put yourself in a position where fortune will come along. What is How I Became the Maitre d' all about? It smacks of the servant leader.
Well, a guy who actually put a great quote on the back of my book, I really appreciate. His name is Hal Rosenbluth. He nicknamed me the maitre d' when we were involved with his company Take Care Health Systems, which is now the clinics you see inside of Walgreens. And what he was referring to is that we would go to different restaurants, and I would know a lot of the people in the restaurant. And I think that's all about networking.
Yes.
To me, it's all about networking, knowing people, helping people, asking people, what can I do for you? Not about you, not about yourself, right? It's what can you do for other people? And I think that's what it's all about. To me, that's the key in life and in business.
I agree with you. I do. I agree with you. You've accomplished an awful lot for a young man, as you indicated before, probably more than even you had expected, and you have been very fortunate. God has been good to you. Now what? Is the book first step in trying to operate on a grander scale to be of help to more people outside of this region? Is that what it's all about?
Yeah. So my partners and I at 76 Capital, it's all about trying to make this world a better place. And we've just gotten started. We're just getting started. I mean, we have an opportunity to invest in, work with incredible, smart and nice entrepreneurs who want to change the world. And whether that's here in the greater Philadelphia region, here in the United States, or anywhere around the world, we are looking to work with people that want to truly have an impact on the world, and we want to try to help them. So this is the beginning. To me, this is the beginning of what's next.
So what is next? If you can disclose it?
Sure.
What is next? What's the plan? What's the strategy?
So our strategy is all about this idea, and our thesis is all about this idea, the convergence of the physical and digital worlds.
All right.
And we think there's this interesting, incredible opportunity in health and wellness and fitness and sports and technology to invest in entrepreneurs that are focused on figuring out what our lives will be like in the next 5, 10 years because of what's happening with technology, what's happening within the healthcare space, what's happening with virtual reality, augmented reality, all these incredible things that are happening in the world today. How will we use all these things? Will we walk around with headsets and goggles on our eyes? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Will there be little implantable or just little contact lenses that we stick in our eyes, and all of a sudden we can see the internet in front of us? Oh my God, maybe. Actually, I know people that are doing that right now.
Yeah, probably.
And so what will that be? What will that experience be when you walk into a shopping mall? What's next with mall walkers at shopping malls? What'll be the mall walkers 2.0? I don't know. What will it be like for us as business people? Will our lives be different? I don't know.
But what's your personal philosophy about the trade-offs that kind of world involves? Giving up more privacy, giving up more of our individuality, becoming a number in a gigantic system as we are now. The most recent disclosure about our government spying on us, using things that seem benign in our homes, a camera television, smartphone, and so on. How do we control that? How do we manage that aspect? That's the downside of progress. Any comments on that?
Well, look, I think we have to continuously move forward, and we're constantly developing new and amazing technologies.
Yes.
We have to make sure that we're doing the things ethically correct. We have to make sure that we're doing things that are just right. It's, again, back to the word nice. We have to make sure that we're doing things the right way. Look, I'm a big fan of social media. I put a lot of personal things out there right now. I enjoy it. I enjoy sharing that because I believe that if I can share, I can help other people. I think we're living in a world where there's a lot out there, but you have to be careful. You have to be careful, but at the same time, we're making progress every day.
You have 2 children.
I do.
Will they be entrepreneurs?
Well, I hope that they'll do whatever they want to do that will make them happy. And if they want to be entrepreneurs, I would love that. They certainly get to see the fact of what my wife and I do in her business and in my business. We're both very entrepreneurial, as we talked about. I mean, for me, they have an opportunity to see what it is.
Yes.
Look, as young people, they actually know what the word entrepreneur is.
Yes. They can spell it. Even,
they can spell it. They know it's the E before the U or U before E. I don't know. It's so confusing, right? But here's the world we live in today. Is we're living in what I call this generation. Many people have words what the different groups of people are, but I call this the Shark Tank generation. Thanks to Mark Cuban and his team of sharks out there. It's amazing what's happening. We're living in this world today where everyone knows what an entrepreneur is. People know about valuations. They understand about business, and it's on network TV. Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible that it's all out there today.
And that concerns me a little bit, because it is a word now that's both abused and overused. And there is a difference between an innovator and an entrepreneur. I think you can be an innovator without necessarily being an entrepreneur. You can be an entrepreneur without necessarily being an innovator yourself, as long as you associate, as you said earlier, with people who are smarter, brighter than you are. But you have skills they don't have. And that's what confuses me. This whole notion of, in the corporate world, my background is HR, of entrepreneurship. It's a misnomer. It's an abuse of the word. And I think it diminishes what true entrepreneurship, risk-taking, is all about. And therefore creates an illusion, as Shark Tank does. That's not real. We both know Shark Tank isn't real. What really goes on behind the scenes and the deals that aren't done after the show is over. But it creates an illusion. That concerns me, particularly among older, no, I should shut up, particularly among baby boomers, who, too many of them are putting their pensions, their IRAs, everything else at risk because they think they can buy, start, or own a business. They can't. But they're being deluded into believing that they can. Anyway, that's a whole other show. Anyway, tell me, if you can, there must have been one mistake in business that you made that you regret, but you learned from. Can you tell me what that was? One instance of bad judgment?
Well, you know what? I think sometimes, there was one of the things I would say is that we have and I personally have a very strong belief in my business mission, which is all about investing in smart and nice people who want to change the world.
Yep.
And if you don't stick to that, then it's a problem.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's what it's all about.
Yes.
To me, it's investing in smart and nice people who truly want to change the world. And if I stick to that, that's what it's all about.
We started on that, and so we should end on that. My guest today has been Wayne Kimmel, entrepreneur, venture capitalist, philanthropist, perpetual networker. His book, 6 Degrees, Wayne Kimmel, is available on your website, www.waynekimmel.com. Amazon?
Amazon.
Any place else?
A number of different bookstores.
Acme, supermarkets? Okay, not yet? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I've enjoyed it very much. Until next time, this is the Entrepreneurs Network. I am Rick Anthony. Take very good care of yourselves